Why don't we jump right into our first topic of the week, which is, of course, Nvidia apologizing, sort of. Now, when I say sort of, I don't mean that they sort of apologized to Hardware Unboxed. In fact, the apology to Hardware Unboxed was pretty good sounding to me. He went ahead and published it. I can't remember where, but I think it's in my Twitter DMs, so I'm just going to read it out from there. Oh man, we got so much Twitter DM going on here. Oh, there's a big history. Luke, if you can find it sooner. Here it is. All right, this is great. Great message from him. Yeah, this reads like BDR actually wrote it. Hi, Steve. I wanted to reach out again and apologize for my previous email. It was not well worded and maybe impacted by a bit of lockdown fatigue. We absolutely respect the press and their editorial integrity. We welcome you and Hardware Unboxed to NDA press briefings, access to press material, early press drivers, and access to our partner/AIC boards, as well as Founders Edition boards. Let me know if you have any questions. Brian Del Rizzo. And you know what? That does read a lot more to me like it was actually written by BDR, which the other one, to be clear, so many people have raised their pitchforks calling for Brian Del Rizzo's head. Guys, here's the thing. Brian Del Rizzo works for Nvidia. An email like that never goes out without prior approval from someone.
I mean, he's going to usually be that someone.
He would usually be that someone, which is why the fact that it was signed by him means someone else looked at it. There is always another set of eyes on a communication like that. And the fact that it doesn't sound like it was written by him at all means that clearly this must have been a whole mess of a thing over there. And on the subject of messes of a thing, it was pretty clear why Nvidia immediately walked it back. But the question that I have, Luke, for you is, do you feel like they issued their apology the next day? Like it happened literally the day after the WAN show. It was on Saturday that they issued the first apology. Then they sent out another message. It was either the day after or on Monday or something like that. Do you think Nvidia apologized because they're sorry or because they're sorry they got caught? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. One of the issues with entities that big is I know they become personified, and that's like literally a thing beyond just perception. Like that's a way that things work. But it is so many different moving parts. And like having worked with them before, I would definitely say that some people there were probably sorry, and that some people there were probably sorry that they got caught. And I don't necessarily know which one the overall is. I'm not sure if I don't see. This doesn't necessarily look like the exact same one I'm seeing, but the one you're reading, did it end with thanks, BDR?
This one says, no, just Brian Del Rizzo.
Yeah, okay. So here, 1 second. I just want to send you this.
Sure. And checking chat. Okay, so this is a different one. Brian Del Rizzo has reached out a second time. So this was posted on Twitter by Hardware Unboxed. Okay, some people are asking for a little bit of context for this. They apparently missed the WAN show last week. Nvidia reached out to Hardware Unboxed, tech YouTuber, and basically said, if you guys don't get in line with how we feel about ray tracing being the future of gaming, and if you guys don't put more emphasis on ray tracing performance in your reviews, we are not going to continue to seed you Founders Edition cards, which is a lot bigger of a deal than it sounds like, because not getting seeded Founders Edition cards basically means you can't do launch day content. You know, and then the end of it was really the worst. I don't know what the worst part. It was one of the worst parts for sure. The end of it was, should your editorial, should your editorial direction change, we'd be happy to revisit this or something along those lines. It was brutal. So we took issue with that because it was an attack on not just Hardware Unboxed's editorial freedom to review the product as they see fit, but also a shot across the bow of pretty much anyone who covers tech and who is at the mercy of Nvidia to cut them off and harm their business. And so we took issue with that. We called it out, and they walked it back basically immediately. So the first email was the one I'm about to read now. Hi, Steve. Thanks for your note. I just wanted to say again how sorry I am for my original email. I overstepped my bounds, and it's as simple as that. I love seeing all the ways reviewers test and report on our products, and I value your contributions. Suggesting that I would withhold samples because I didn't agree with your commentary is simply inexcusable and crossed the line. So that's the thing. It didn't suggest. It was a statement. Very clear. Yeah. I failed myself, my colleagues, and the amazing community of reviewers I consider my friends. You all work so hard in service of the gaming industry we love. You deserved better from me. I hope you will forgive my mistake and give me the opportunity to be of service to you in the future. It would be great if you can share this with your fans so they know how I feel. That was the first retraction. So you basically are saying some people at Nvidia are sorry and some are sorry they got caught. Is that the vibe?
I think so.
Because you got to remember, it's not like this is the first time Nvidia has ever behaved in an anti-partner or anti-consumer manner.
I just think with a company that size, I think it's hard. Like if you tried to, if you said like, okay, you know what, I am globally personifying this. Everyone is upset about the banner being over our chins. Apparently, are we both too low in frame?
There, I fixed it. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know. If we're deciding like, no, we have to decide a general attitude for the company as a whole, I would, I mean, especially after reading that, it feels that they're sorry they got caught. Suggesting that I would, no, BS. And then it would be great if you could share this with your fans. Please, I don't want the heat on me anymore. Yeah, it feels like they're sorry they got caught. But I am also certain that there are people there that are sorry in general. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure. I don't know how many. I know for a fact, I can't get anyone on the record about any of this, which is very frustrating. But I know for a fact there are people at Nvidia that were just like, I don't even have any marketing like training. And I read that email and I was immediately like, how was this going to be anything but a disaster? Like a raging ball of fire coming down upon us. What could they possibly have been thinking?
One of the interesting things that stood out to me, and I'm probably chasing a nothing burger, but the original email was signed off so formally.
Yeah.
And it had his full name, and then I think it had the like in quotes BDR thing.
Yeah.
This one's just BDR.
Yeah, well, I have seen Brian sign emails lots of different ways, so it's I don't know, it's tough to draw a conclusion there. Like if we want to get into like forensic typing, word use analysis,
like it feels like maybe one of them is sent because your email is probably going to auto signature. So like one of them is sent from like a team account, one of them is sent from his own. I don't know. I have no idea. It's just it feels so weird to me that it's being handled this way at all. So I'm trying to like pick it apart and be like, who the heck is even involved? Because it's hard to tell.
Patrick H says, y'all need to realize this wasn't BDR's decision to make. He had to write the hard email and is the messenger. He definitely could have felt bad writing the email in the first place.
That's happened before for sure.
Yeah, but I just don't believe that's how it went down. To be clear, I don't believe that like, I don't know. Honestly, I've been trying to get someone from Nvidia, including BDR, to talk to me about this. And pretty much the answer has been, we sent an email to Steve. It's water under the bridge. That's all I have to say about that. And my response to that is a couple of things. Number one is, okay, you've addressed that you did the wrong thing, but you haven't explained how that ever could have possibly happened in the first place. And without a post-mortem on this, honestly, the apology rings kind of hollow for me. And number two is you apologized to Steve, but Steve wasn't the only member of the media that was outraged that you or someone respected us so little.
And while technically you only like punched out at one thing, the community feels the hit. Like it's if you're a lord over some lands and you go roll into someone's place and take a bunch of their stuff, everyone's going to be freaked out, and you need to address everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, Hans von Twitchy says the first email was full of PR speak. They expected it to leak. They didn't expect the magnitude of backlash. They did want to strong arm the community, just didn't expect the community to fight back. That's my read on it right now. I just still don't know what the forces at play within Nvidia are. And this is something that it would be very easy for me to drop if I could get someone over there to just talk to me and say, look, this is what happened. I'm not going to go on the record. You cannot talk about this. I would accept that. But, you know, the person who is boneheaded enough to have thought that that was a good idea, you know, they're not going to interact with the media anymore. And or they're too senior. You know, there's ultimately nothing we can do about it. But that's how it went down. You know, whatever it is, because the explanation here is, guys, don't pick up your pitchforks and go after BDR. I don't actually think, and it was my initial reaction, my midterm reaction, and even now that I've done more digging, talked to some NVIDIA partners, it is still my reaction that that did not sound like something he would write. It sounds like something that for whatever reason he had to sign. And it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So they apologized to Hardware Unboxed. They have not actually addressed the cause of the behavior. They haven't addressed how they're going to avoid the behavior in the future. So to me, this is a little like, you know, a parent hitting one of their kids, coming back and saying, hey, I'm sorry, here's some ice cream and an Xbox, and all the other kids are like, yo, what the was that? And they're like, see you later. You know, there's no like, hey, I was drinking and I'm not going to drink anymore. There's no, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry you guys, yeah, I'm sorry you guys had to see that. It's just, yep. Okay, bye-bye. We're not the same company that brought you GeForce Partner Program. We're not the same company that literally told 3DFX employees to burn the drivers instead of releasing like updated drivers for 3DFX cards. No, we're not that company. We've learned, you know, we're cool now. We're good. We're nice. You know, don't worry about that. I don't know. I just, it kind of, if I have to guess, and you know, maybe every time I talk about this, I am poisoning the well even further with respect to my chances of ever having a good relationship with NVIDIA again. But the only conclusion that I can really draw here is that the toxicity goes up very, very high.
Yeah.
That's the only real conclusion I can draw. Like the fact that these things happen, NVIDIA treats partners with contempt and nothing ever changes, means that it's just the attitude there. And I know there are exceptions. I know for a fact there are exceptions. But maybe this is the kind of thing that, like, at this point, I've got nothing left to lose, and it just requires a dedicated video about it. Just like, look, these are all the things that you talk to literally any NVIDIA partner about, and they can talk your ear off about the kind of bullshit that NVIDIA puts them through, but they're in no position to speak out because either it's above their pay grade, or B, they would be fired, or they would negatively impact their company.
You should go like full, you should get like an outside, not related to the tech industry, investigative journalist, and just like have them host the video and everything. That'd be sweet.
Interesting. Yeah, Meat says NVIDIA screwed AIBs hard this gen. Yeah, I mean, that's yet another, just like, I don't even know what the point is. Like, who benefits. I don't think anybody benefited from Nvidia giving themselves such a leg up in terms of board design for the RTX 30 series. Like, why? It doesn't benefit consumers because the vast majority of consumers are going to be buying AIB cards, not Nvidia Founders Edition cards. It doesn't benefit Nvidia because it ends up creating negative PR when there's like launch boards failing. It doesn't benefit their AIBs because they have to either recall or fix boards on their way out to consumers, or they have to, pay a bunch of overtime and, go into crunch mode for no reason whatsoever in order to get a good quality product out there in time for launch. Like, it doesn't benefit consumers. Did I already say that? Because they have a chance to get broken products for no reason. Like, what is the point? Why? Why are you doing this? Why don't you just be cool, Why don't you just
be cool, man?
Chill out a little bit? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Anyway, why don't we just move on to our next topic? Because at this point, I don't think they're ever going to address it, and I don't think that there's anything I can do to change them.
Yeah, they've been in this situation a number of times, and they just never say anything about it.
Yeah, or if they do say something, it's like, sorry, we're not going to fundamentally change anything about our attitude, but yeah, we're definitely sorry.
Yeah. It's but they're kind of too big to fail in that way too. They have so much momentum. People are just going to keep buying their stuff.
Oh, of course
they have so much momentum in the enterprise space as well, which tends to have a lot less reaction to these types of things.
Yep. Well, consumers don't ever even end up hearing about it.
Yeah.